What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode 354, fresh off Fanatics Fest. We're going to talk about it. We got lots of other stuff, lots of new releases this week to talk about, guys. Appreciate you guys joining us live here on Mojobreak Media and also listening to wherever you guys listen to podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Google, iTunes, wherever. We're here talking about the show. There's also been some big sales recently. Ruth called Shot Jersey sets a record. We're going to talk about that. And some more details about some unlicensed NFL products, guys. Can you guys hear us? We're good. Dan.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? What did you think about Fanatics Fest, man?
Oh, man. It was, I was pleasantly surprised. I know, like, everybody's been kind of saying that. I don't think if anybody basically came in and they're like, I know exactly what to expect, I'd be like, you're lying. Nobody knew what to expect. Nobody knew if it was going to be a card show, if it was going to be more of like a sports Comic-Con. And it kind of turned out to be both. I got to say, I learned a lot of keywords like activation. That was a thing.
You hadn't heard that one before?
No. I mean, you go to a lot of Comic-Cons?
No, I've heard activation, though.
I've heard the word before. I never heard it in a setting that was like a conference setting. But I think what were possibly the downfalls? Everything that I left, I was like positive. The one thing I heard that may have been a downfall would have been like the swag bag for the VIP passes, which we didn't get them anyway, so we can't really comment on them. But I saw some people complaining about it. But as far as like the drops, like I think the Cactus Jack is going for like $1,700.
Seriously?
Wasn't that like a $300 box?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Did you get any?
No. That's why they're $1,700. Never win. I never win.
Always lost.
I'm the opposite of LeVar Ball. Never win.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think, C-Rad? Let's start with some of the lows. If there was any lows, is there any lows? $8,000 one sold for.
Maybe.
By the way.
No, that's not right.
3,000.
No, I think there's some weird stuff going on there. $1,700 because I do believe.
Oh, this one has a free little baby. It has a little baby auto on it.
I think at the end of the show, I think DA was buying them for $1,100. So let's pump the brakes with $8,000.
Shill bid.
It could be going up though. Only 1,000 of them made. Cactus Jack boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize it's actually a cosmic chrome, not just regular chrome. It's a cosmic chrome.
And we love cosmic.
Doesn't Travis Scott have cards in the set?
He
Yes.
does.
But there's other players, right? It's not just.
It's all the key players.
Okay.
Only key players, pretty much.
What about the Big Apple? Big Apple Chrome. Did that?
People were buying them at the show for $500.
They started going down to $450. They definitely weren't the Cactus Jack boxes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was more of a finite supply of that as opposed to a more limited version.
All right,
like we saw with the Cactus
looks like
Jack.
650,
6 to 7.
650 to 700.
Which is
these are
about
the high
where
bids,
I
but
thought it would be landing, probably.
double.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should do some Big Apple breaks this weekend. Mix it in with some regular.
I did.
chrome.
the only
I already got it locked up low for
Nice,
tomorrow.
Nice.
the only hiccup that we had, and it has nothing to do with the Fanatics Fest, was the
Traveling?
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anything right. I mean, could not get anything right. Like
Going there and coming back.
First flight canceled. Shane ships all the product to the wrong Courtyard hotel. We have to scramble with that.
3-hour layover now in Atlanta before we even get there.
3-hour layover in Atlanta. Then on the way back, have us get on the plane 4 hours, and then they call it and cancel it at about 10:30 p.m., giving us no options.
Like 4 hours after the flight was supposed to take off.
I was on the flight. You guys actually got off. I was like, if I get off, it's gonna be easier for them to cancel it. So if I'm just sitting there like, nah, I'm good. I'm down.
Take off.
I kept on
ready.
I kept on telling them that every single time, like the rain would die down. I'm like, okay, we go. Let's go. Let's hurry up. Let's get this show on the road. Get everybody back in. This is why nobody should have left. But no, yeah, didn't go down. Didn't happen. We made a decision to Uber at 12:15 in the morning to Baltimore. What could possibly go wrong? And finally, nothing went wrong. We got to Baltimore. We took a direct 6.5-hour flight on my first experience of Spirit Airlines, which I got to say,
The taxi of the sky.
not as bad as what I heard. I would say I'm going to get roasted for this. On par with Southwest. Pretty much the same.
I mean, you don't have no seat back.
Except Southwest is like, however many bags you want on the house, whatever. And they give you a little trail mix or whatever, some. I could imagine if they came up to us and asked us, like, they're like, we got some water or some pretzels at Spirit, they'd be like, those are gonna be $37.
Yeah, the Mojobreak private jet was booked for the weekend. We weren't able to get it to show up in New York for us, but so we had to make do.
But
right.
Spirit gets a bad rap. I mean, I would give Spirit a 6.5, a C-Rad 6.5.
Which is the equivalent of a 10. You just gave it a 10. So let's talk about the stuff that, like, surprised you, C-Rad. Like, what was some of the things that you're like, what in the heck is going on? I've been to the National, and one thing I want to say before we even get into this, people are comparing this to the National. It's not even the same thing. It's not a card show only, so you cannot compare the two. So it's unfair to the National and the National people. I know we were doing that leading up to it because we didn't know what to expect, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of negatives, like you were asking the original question, I really can't think of too many negatives about the show itself. So many positives, though. Again, it's not obviously not fair to the Nationals, but that's all I can compare it to because I've been to 4 Nationals now. And I said it in the comments on one of our posts on Mojobreak_com on Instagram. It was probably the best time I've ever had in the hobby. That entire weekend.
I'll give you a negative. The fact that they lost our 40/40 invites.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's
so
a negative.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. Like,
I went up to the little booth, the will call. I'm like, I'm here, and they're like, no, they're all no, you're not.
For our listeners that wasn't able to make it out, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. There's first of all, there was 3 different locations where they had constant podcast or events or kind of what do they call them, like deep dives or talks
boxes,
or where a lot of the biggest names and athletes and celebrities and hosts. First Take was recorded there live on Friday morning. There was that. There was a whole theater that they used it for underneath the Java Center. There was the activations, like we just alluded to, where there was a bunch of different activities for families, for kids, for everybody, for adults. Between all of the leagues, the WWE section was completely full the entire weekend.
Mm-hmm.
People was there to have their own custom entrances, and then also an entire 40/40 Jay-Z club built inside of a sports card convention. Or sports convention, I should say, plus sports cards. That, I said it to all you guys at the show, but that blew my mind.
Insane.
That they actually built one inside of a sports convention.
And I was to say before, a lot of people in this industry have egos. I don't consider myself one of them. But if you think that you were like you're walking around and think you're the biggest breaker in the world. I mean, we stood there in front of the 40/40 as long as they let us because they were kicking us out. And KD walked by, Fat Joe walked in, DJ Khaled walked in,
Tiffany Haddish.
There was Johnny Manziel. There was already people in there.
Jay-Z
the Pivot
was in there
podcast.
the whole weekend.
Jay-Z was in there the whole weekend. So I mean, to put it in perspective, like you ain't any of those people if you're in the sports card game with your 40,000 followers on Instagram. But it was wild to see that in a show of all these conglomerate of these celebrities like walking in, and it doesn't really mean much. These people are people too, but just to see them that are going to promote Fanatics Fest. They're going to blow this thing up, and that's part of the whole thing is just to get them to do some things like Tom Brady did a lot of stuff. They can use that footage for years, regardless if there's not going to be as much star power going into the next ones, because I doubt they'll get as much star power as they did in this one. But being able to use who was there, what they did, Dana White having a show there, doing the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson thing that they did on Saturday or Sunday. I mean, it was just anybody who was anybody was there, and the press was insane.
And I want to mention too is what was really exciting was that all these big name celebrities and athletes that we were talking about and that you guys have seen on our Instagram, there was so many situations throughout the entire weekend where they were just walking around, they were just hanging out. If you were at any of these 40-yard dash, or if you were at the the 3-point shot or the free throw line competition, if you were at any of these little events, they showed up all weekend, and that's what made it exciting for everybody there, because you never knew who you were going to see, shake hands with, meet. Speaking of the WWE side, which was one of the biggest, I think WWE showed out this weekend, showed that they have some of the biggest fans in the world, the most amount of fans. But like Triple H came out, Cody Rhodes came out, Rey Mysterio came out with Travis Scott.
We
were standing at the basketball. You guys might have seen the footage. We were standing at the basketball 3, and where Travis Scott and Michael Rubin just walk in. And then they were just shaking people's hands, saying hi to everybody. Like, this was I'm telling you guys, if you did not make it out to this one, the next big one, whatever city is in, which I'm hearing it might be LA, it's an experience, and I'll never forget it. Like I said, the best time of my life in the hobby, and I've been back in the hobby for the last 10+ years now. So,
yeah, the back to the 40/40 club. It's good that our booth, where we were talking to customers and doing our marketing and all that stuff and having our booth set up, it's good that it was far away from the 40/40 club, because 40/40 club is loud. It was super, super loud.
Pumping the music.
Now, they should have done the quiet club where you put the headphones on, and then everybody can just go in there and just dance together with the headphones.
Silent disco.
The silent disco.
I have a hard time imagining those guys doing a silent disco.
But dude, it was so loud, bro. Imagine it like if you were at a booth, which I think the Fanatics apparel was right next to it. They couldn't speak to anybody when it was really popping, because it was loud, man. You can hear it as soon as you walk in, no matter where you were in that convention center.
And just to experience the different sports, you could hit some baseballs, you could hit some golf balls, you could hit some hockey pucks, you could shoot some shots. I mean, we did a little free throw contest, and Channing Crowder was there at the same time. Michael Blackson showed up. So it was just like these people were integrating in, and also the space compared to the National. The National, you're so narrow hallways between tables, and you're bumping into everybody. There was a lot of open space. It was easy to get into the place with your badge and everything. I got to give some props to New York, too, just in general. I was there about 12 years ago real quick for a Tops thing, and that was the only experience that me and Dan had leading up to this. People in New York, they don't mess around. They get things done. You go to the airport, let's go. We're not wasting time. We're not taking questions. We're getting people through. You go to get some food, they're getting you in, they're getting you out. The service, top notch. And that also goes along with Fanatics Fest. There was plenty of security. There was plenty of people working the merch booth. There wasn't a time where you're I don't know where I am. I can't ask anybody anything. It was just New York in general. They work hard.
I don't know if it was top. I don't know if top notch is the way I would describe it. Efficient is what I would describe it.
Efficiency at its best.
Efficiency. Ain't no time for basically dilly-dallying around.
We are a lot more laid back than New York, as I realize.
It is
we are a lot more laid back.
I mean, you go up and order something. It's what do you want? Let's get this going. Let's get you out of my face and on to the next person. And I'm okay.
I mean, there was people screaming. One of the TSA workers was screaming at this lady, "What are you doing? There's 2 open spots, and you have a water, and you still have your sweatshirt on. What are you doing? You need to get going. We got to keep moving."
I basically was if that was at SFO, it would have been customer service and HR would have been all hands on deck. There would have been she may have owned the SFO after that. She may have just been you work for me now.
And I'm not like a huge San Francisco guy. Some people think that we are from there. We're 45 minutes away from it. Don't go up there that much. Obviously, in the news, there's a lot of criticism about San Francisco being dirty and homeless and stuff like that.
But we do have garbage cans.
We have garbage
we have
cans.
dumpsters.
We have dumpsters. We don't throw our dumpsters garbage on the streets. So I mean, in big city, that's a challenge. It's a big city challenge to keep that thing clean. But I gotta say, New York is just about as comparable, except you don't have the sewer smell or from the subway coming up through the streets. Then you do it. You don't have that in San Francisco. So, I mean, if you want to rip on San Francisco, that's fine. But you also got to say that's a big city problem because New York has that same problem. So that's all I'm saying. That's maybe my West Coast bias. But,
yeah.
It's like, why isn't New York getting blamed for all the same stuff that San Francisco has problems with?
And
they're facing the same issues.
I felt literally walking in downtown, like Manhattan, just walking around. I felt about the same as far as like safety as walking in like San Francisco for the downtown San Francisco, not like Hunters Point or like the Tenderloin or anything like that. But
yeah, it's true, guys. Them rats do be walking around with pizza in their hands, entire pieces.
Well,
walking around eating,
feeding their family.
But I'm pretty sure
because the rats are hustlers out there.
Well, the rats like garbage. And if you just throw mountains of garbage outside, if I could figure that out, I'm pretty sure the people who work for the city of New York could figure that out too. It's just not that big of a problem.
I mean, I will say, and I don't know if these people were homeless because I don't want to, say that, but compared to San Francisco, you do see a lot of guys just sitting around holding a cup. There was so many guys that had like cans, like recycled cans that they were like gathering up. So even the less than privileged people are getting out there and trying to collect the cans to make some money. So I never seen so many recycled cans in a bag than I did when I was walking to Times Square. Like this guy he was like Scrooge McDuck of like recycled cans out there. Like this guy had a whole system in place of all these aluminum cans that he was going to make money on. So he was trying to get ahead.
I will
give him that too. Hard work all the way around.
That city never sleeps. And when they say that is a true statement. It can be 1:30 in the morning, and you see everybody from like senior citizens down to like 3-year-old kids.
I seen babies playing in the streets at 1:30 in the morning.
So did I.
I saw
babies playing in the streets.
Yeah, I mean it. Nobody sleeps. Nobody is sleeping. Everybody has somewhere to go, no matter what time it is.
It's like that Chappelle skit. Hey, baby, what you doing out here?
Bring me some milk from down the street. But yeah, some of the notes we have here is rank your top pizza spots. We didn't get a chance to go. We didn't get a chance to go to all.
Let's not talk about that for damn sake.
I'm an absolute failure. I mean, I had one job, I had one goal, and I did have some pizza.
Just not the ones we wanted.
No, not
nor
even
the ones that you wanted.
Not even close.
I was able to go back. Shout out the second time me and Dan went in 2017. Ruby, Rosa, and Nolita. Still as amazing as I remembered it in 2017. I'm sorry, Dan. Shout out to Donovan. Thank you for taking us again. We went on the subway for the first time. Got there in no time. That first bite when it hits your mouth,
Well, I mean, from my experience personally, and Cody's in the chat, so you guys didn't hit up some pizza joints. I didn't stop working. I mean, literally
we were busy, man.
Friday nights we did Sports Card Radio, which was fantastic. Alex Giammo was on the show.
Saturday night we did Gary V
in studio, and then Ken Golden called in. You guys got to watch that one. I mean, it was something to be seen. And then Saturday night we did Gary V's V Friends studio live on Fanatics Live. So
and that was the main night we were.
Time.
That was the main night we were gonna go out to get an actual spot that we wanted to go to, but we just ran out of time.
I ate 3 meals in 4 days. So I did.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I mean, Thursday was the only day, and we chose a karaoke spot, which was a lot of fun. So private room karaoke.
But even that night, I don't think we had time to go to any pizza place.
We wouldn't have made it because we were,
Now we did have pizza at the Fanatics offices where they ordered and they said it was the best one around there. and we can attest to how good that one was.
It was cold.
Very good.
So that was number 2 on my list for the entire weekend. It was cold, and think about how good it was.
Yeah, no,
Even
I know.
cold, and it was
Yeah.
like better than anything I've eaten out here.
I can't rate cold pizza. I don't have a cold pizza scale.
That was really good. And what was that? We don't even know what that place was called.
I forgot what the name of it was, but it was the number 2 pizza I had that weekend.
Doug and I had pizza.
Number 4 from the airplane. That was number 4, that airplane pizza that we had.
Oh,
I didn't.
That was like toast. What do you call it? Celeste pizza.
I didn't have it. I could not eat it at a time like that.
It was terrible.
I don't know how you guys could eat when I was like, we now live in New Jersey. We're never getting home.
Shout out to New Jersey.
Yeah, it was like Sbarro. Exactly. That's kind of what it was.
But Doug and I went to
Maybe worse. Maybe worse.
It was New York. It was New York airport pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Doug and I went to a little place that was pretty good. That was actually pretty legit New York pizza.
compared
I don't even know what the name
compared to
was,
the
yeah.
Fanatics cold one. What would you rank?
I can't rank a cold pizza.
Well, okay, Doug. What would you rank between the 2?
It's
that,
like ranking.
that cold pizza was like a 7, dude.
It's like ranking.
really
But I mean, like
was.
compared to the one that you guys actually went to.
I think that one was better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cold?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was lukewarm. It wasn't
I
like
can't.
refrigerator cold. You know, it was. You know,
It's like
we were late to the party because we were live. That's another thing. On Thursday,
like-
we were live on Fanatics Live too. After we barely just landed there. So
Listen, guys. If you've never been, you probably a lot of people have probably been to New York. Next time you get to New York, no Lita, Ruby Rosa, a hidden gem. I am telling you guys right now, one of the best pizza in New York.
how long did you have to wait for a reservation?
30 minutes,
45 minutes.
35 minutes and 45 because we had to split our party up into 2 to be able to sit down.
Yeah.
35 minutes and then 45 minutes.
that's the other thing. I don't have a lot of patience to wait for food. Usually, I'm super hungry. I want to find a place that's ready. I mean, I'll
Not
sacrifice
me.
quality for that.
I'll wait all night for the best pizza in the world.
And you guys can check out here on Mojobreak Media. YouTube's kind of been hiding it in the algorithm, but you can find it. I did it all for the rookie. It's in the tune of Limp Bizkit Nookie. So it was kind of a recap of what we did at the show, little highlights of everything, a little 4-minute video, and comment on that. But they're definitely hiding it in the algorithm because the Instagram's got like 4,000 views, but like the YouTube, which has the whole video, is got like 120 views. So they're keeping the man down. They're keeping the players down.
Come on, YouTube.
So check that out. And yeah, we did great things with V Friends. We opened a box 1340 Prism. Wasn't the greatest box, but we gave that all away. That was fun. We all got a chance to do some sports. I had my money on Dan to win the 40, and Gary won. So, but I think Dan was wearing the wrong shoes. I think
What was your time?
5, 6, 8.
5, 6, 8. You
which
want to know
is
something crazy?
terrible. What?
You know it's terrible. But Bow Wow just did it. His was 6'10".
Oh.
So you're better than Bow Wow.
That's good.
I mean, where does that get me?
Bow Wow's a little guy too. You know what I'm saying? So you're not that fast.
No, my best outing on any of the activations was the hockey.
Yeah, you were slamming them.
I missed my calling. I should have been in the NHL.
Well, you could collect the number 1 rookie this year, San Jose.
It was like a stacked washer and dryer, and I just ripped a piece off. It just went flying, broke it. It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Then Doug won on the wiffle ball.
Yeah, which I started off.
I
slow.
had a lot of swing and misses.
I started off slow myself, and then I heard CC Sabathia was going to be there, and they're like, "Oh, you guys should wait around. CC Sabathia's going to throw some pitches." And I was like, well, you already did it.
I'm
I already did it. I'm not getting back in line.
I'm not going to wait in line. It was a slow line.
Yeah.
It really was. The WWE thing was cool. If you didn't see all, I think that was one of the coolest things. And I'm not even a huge WWE fan. I actually was home the other day watching Raw, 'cause I'm starting to get back into it because of that. You could pick whatever entrance music you want and come out of the entrance and do whatever you wanted to do. We chose Degeneration X, me and Dan. We wanted to go back and do it with C-Rad, but then there was like 200 people in line, so it was like hard to wait in line when you got other things going on. So our booth did really well too. I mean, we sold a lot of singles. We did not expect to have as many sales there as we did, because I was thinking everybody else was going to be on the other side doing everything else, and people did migrate to the card place. We had Grant Williams obviously open up that box, and
Huge.
it was the biggest card pull of the show, really. I
Easy.
mean,
Not even close.
not even close.
Yeah,
So
right.
Grant Williams spends 10,500 whatever. Somebody called me out on something saying it wasn't a $12,000 box. It was marked at 12,000 guys. All right, so maybe we discounted a little bit. 10,500.
We gave him the pro NBA player discount. So look, if anybody ever comes to us and goes, "Hey, I'm in that box," we'll give you a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, somebody give you crap for saying it was 12K. It's like, okay, dude, 10K. Like, it's still it's an expensive
it's not
box.
like I said $1 to
If you're in the box, I'll knock $2,000.
Stop exaggerating. It wasn't 12K. It was 10K.
Yeah, so basically what happened, we were sitting there, and a friend of the show that's been on the show, Jess Minio from Bleecker, she does some other things in the hobby too, Breaks with Jess on Instagram, shout out to her. She came by the booth, and I kind of was on the other side of the booth, and I'm like, what's going on? There started to be a crowd coming through, and we were selling him. He was looking for his own cards because he's an 18-19. So we happen to have one box of 18-19 National Treasures. That's all we brought. Which I'm surprised we brought, because if it was left up to me, I probably wouldn't have brought that box. But glad we did. We also had a box of 18-19 Immaculate. He bought them both. He starts with the 18-19 Immaculate. Pretty terrible box, on par for what I expected. So then I'm like, and I know he's got a lot of money. He's a player. He's, probably at least, makes a couple $1 million a year, probably a lot more than that. And I'm like, oh, come on, this 18-19 NT needs to be good. And he's like, what do I need to do to make my money back? And we're like, well, obviously, like Luka, right? You get a Luka, you'll make your money back. Maybe Trey, maybe SGA, the right parallel,
or maybe like a Curry, or Kobe would be in there, right?
Kobe, yeah.
Kobe, yeah. So a few logo mans of certain players too, right? Of course. So he's going through the box. There happens to be two Celtics like legends right before the main hit, and he's like, oh, is this a sign? Is my card coming? And then I just see, I could see, because I know what the Luka looks like. I could see it coming, and I'm like, oh my god! And it happened to be a number to 10 Luka, and it was just wild. It was just wild. There's already conspiracies on other forums that Fanatics gives juice boxes to players and all this other stuff.
Nice.
I think the good thing that we got, Jeff Wilson said, hey, Mojobreak doesn't have CT scanners, obviously, and that was it. And he said it was his first. He was collecting Pokemon before, and he started collecting NBA that day. Wow. And now he wants cases. He's hooked. He's probably never replicate that experience again in his lifetime.
First break mojo.
And those are the stories that you love to hear. Mm-hmm. But we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't talk about if we didn't flip the coin and talk about another story. So yeah, they all can't be bangers.
You guys want to relive that really quick?
So I guess we'll relive how that story started. So I'm sitting there at the booth. This is right when the Grant Williams thing's is happening, and I'm just like in awe of like, just what are the chances? What are the chances? I hear some. That's the audio from it. Holy S.
Out of 10? Oh my God.
Oh, I got Kristaps 101 printing plate.
That is
Throw it away.
Who's that crying in the background? I just hear someone going,
It's probably Shane.
So then, like, when this is all happening, Jesse from Sports Card Nonsense, I know a lot of you guys listen to that show. One of our, if not my favorite show in the hobby. Them and Sports Card Radio is pretty much the only podcast I listen to.
He's my second favorite host on that show.
Yeah, your second favorite host.
Yeah.
So he comes up to me and he's like, hey, I got a podcast on the main stage. Mike is sick. He wasn't able to make the flight. He's like, can you do a podcast with me? And he's like, we're doing it with Bobby Bones. And I'm like, oh, Bobby Bones? Yeah. Oh, sweet. Yeah. What do you want me to talk about? I was like, yeah. And like, I was like, man, he's like kind of interrupted me during this Grant Williams thing, but obviously I'm glad he did. But he's like, hey, because he's going on stage in like 30 minutes. He's like, can you do it? And I'm like, yeah. So we're on stage with Bobby Bones and Jesse. We're doing a Sports Card Nonsense podcast, which I believe is probably you can download that on Spotify. You can probably watch the video on any of their channels. Shout out to Sports Card Nonsense. And he's like, we're telling him the Grant Williams story, and he's like, well, I want to do that. So we get another high-end box. He's like, I'll buy it, but I gotta buy it first because I'm superstitious. This is from Bobby Bones. He's like, let me buy this box first. And it was 21-22 Immaculate, and it had to have been $10 in cards.
It was the worst box. It was the worst box ever.
Literally the worst box ever.
It was the worst box ever. The crazy thing is that I think because that box was so bad, Bobby Bones is like, well, I've already hit the floor. it can't get any worse. So I believe it was the next day. It was Saturday, right?
Saturday, Bobby comes back to the booth.
Came
and
back.
Oh yeah.
He came back and he's like, "All right, I'm feeling it, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go big. I'm ready to go big." So he bought a 2020 NT football, which I believe was close to 10K.
I think it was 9,000, but we played a little joke of negotiating, and we got it down to 8,000 for him. And that's obviously the Burrow, Herbert, Tua, Hurts year. So there's a lot of potential in that one to get an RPA of those guys, and it goes through the box. And I mean, it's the best hit was a Clyde Edwards-Helaire redemption, which was expired.
I didn't think you can actually get worse than the immaculate box that he opened up on stage, but he defied the odds and actually got a worse box.
So then, we're like, we got to get because, he's got 12 million followers on Instagram. So I'm like, let's throw him another box on us, see what we can do. So we open up a case of 2020 Impeccable, same year. And, we're like, throw him a box. And he opens the box and we're like, there's the metal card. So those are familiar with Impeccable. There's one metal card, whether it be precious silver or precious metal, in every case. So we happened to get the box that had the precious metal in it. So we're going through it, and he's like just giving away these cards because he's like, this is terrible, this is terrible, this is terrible. Winds up getting a Lawrence Taylor silver card, which is probably one of the worst. So he's like, he's still like, and that was $3,000. So we gave him $3,000 to try to capture a moment here that might do well on iHeartRadio or wherever we're posting it.
We didn't stop there.
We're not. Then when we went back and what was it? 2020.
We had a 2020 Panini Prism Sparkle pack, probably $1,000 pack. What, 3 cards?
3 cards.
And I'm like, you hit any of those rookies.
You just came.
I did not know you guys gave this Impeccable and this white sparkle away.
Yeah, we did.
So
I walked away after that NT.
So I was like, I'm gonna open this. You get like one of the quarterbacks. It'll be huge. It's probably not gonna pay for the chaos that just ensued, but like it'll get you somewhere. And he opened up that, and it was literally the worst pack. I mean, I was like,
what was it?
It was just garbage, and garbage.
Oh God.
Couldn't even tell you who it was.
I think the cards wind up in the. He just said, "Give these to a kid."
He really did.
So I think they actually wound up in the bottom of a shipment box, and they're probably PSA 4s now. But we were trying to possibly get this guy hooked in the hobby. Also, get some good press for us that we got a massive hit. I mean, we got the Grant Williams thing.
I don't think we got him hooked. I think we got him a one-way ticket out.
I know he posted afterwards. He didn't directly say us, but he's like, it's been a bad day today and something. He was all down. So I don't know if that was directly.
But I will say,
we're sorry, Bobby.
Bobby Bones, good sport for sure. It was good having him hang out at the booth, and we tried. We tried. We did our best.
We did.
Maybe football and basketball isn't your sport to collect. Maybe you're a baseball guy.
Yeah.
Come back and we'll try some high-end baseball. See if we can change. If baseball doesn't work, maybe you're a hockey guy. But there's enough categories, enough sports, and I'm pretty sure we can get you something somewhere at some point.
Yeah, and in the chat, the Luke accounted for like 30 amazing hits, so it all evens out. Yeah, I guess so for sure.
Throw him a dynasty soccer. Bobby Bones.
We also had a kid open up is it Bowman Chrome U and pull a patch auto of Bronny out of one of those boxes.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Which is a pretty big hit.
Was that the Collects kid?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elijah.
Saw that.
That was the other thing I want to mention about the show. Maybe we haven't covered it anywhere else yet. Is that because it's billed as a sports show, right? And also sports cards. So you had a lot of people show up, women, family, kids that were there for the sports side. And I think that just helps the sports card side because they afterward, they're checking out all the activations and activities. Then they come to the sport. There's a lot of people that were seeing sports cards for the first time in their life.
Right.
Just a lot of them just walking around and being amazed at what was there. So that was another exciting aspect of it. It's like you start seeing you start seeing the vision of what Fanatics Live was talking about when they said they were going to do a lot more marketing coming into the hobby. You know what I mean? Like this is the fruition of it.
There was a lot of card people though as well.
There was a lot of card people.
I counted the word comp said about 7 million times.
Yeah, I've also had a lot of people come by our booth specifically, and I was just talking to them like, hey, how's it going? How's the show going for you guys? And they're like, yeah, it's my first time. I don't know what do you suggest? You know, like what boxes
and I
are
gotta
good?
say, our buybacks did well. Everybody was super happy except for one person.
Out of 101 person.
Out of 100
out of 100
packs.
out of 100 people, there was one person that was very, very upset.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Sorry about that.
So he got a bonus pack.
Yeah.
But didn't give us the other pack back. I don't. And he got. I think he's already used his $2.50 two site credits already.
Nice. Hopefully he gets a 1-on-1.
But yeah, that was the only. That in some negotiations that were pretty, because we've never really set up at a show and sold singles. And I will tell you right now, selling singles is a completely different animal than selling sealed wax. It's negotiation city.
Yeah, and this is probably like our second or third time ever setting up. So we're like super green in setting up and selling singles. Mostly boxes or promoting our breaks. I used to be a stickler as a buyer to see prices on cards, right? Now I understand why people don't put prices on cards.
I get it.
I understand it completely. Or they put the price on the back because, you put that price on there, then it opens you up to, I've looked at the comp, and then, so a lot of, and then where I made the fatal mistake, so this is a lesson learned for any of you guys to go to show and sell singles, I'm not a big downtown kaboom guy. I like pulling them. That's fine. I was thinking everybody loves them. So what I'm going to do is spend the 2 months prior to the show buying these on eBay, because when I was going to shows, they seemed like they were pretty high price. So I'm doing them all auction. I'm winning all of these kabooms and downtowns at auction on eBay. And I'm like, I'm going to bring them to the show, and I'm going to, mark them up $100 because kaboom and downtowns, everybody wants them. Well, they were pulling up my comp. So they were like, oh, well, you have this at $650. The last comp's $550. It's like, well, that was my comp. That's my card that I bought there. Well, that's the comp. Well, it's
and
they
comp. Literally would look at you and be like, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care what you. I don't care. This is yours. Give me a deal. I had some people basically sit there for like telling me to look up comps. Like they're all get eBay out and basically look up these cards for me and tell me what the comps are. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, you got it. You got your phone. Well, don't take up my data, bro. Don't take up my data.
Do we have to make a skit for Instagram on this? Because there's so many funny things about it too. Because you're like, well, I got this Josh Allen 9. Well,
I had,
but the SGC 10 is 1,100, and you're asking 1,500. Well, that's not the same grading company. Well, it's my opinion, it's the same card. It's actually better because it's a 10 SGC, and yours is a 9.5 BGS. But no, then how come this one sold for 700? Well, that one is not numbered. It's like, whoa, yeah, but what's the difference? So it's like just everybody the buyer has an opinion on what they want to buy it for, so they're going to use the fuel that they see to benefit them. And me as a seller, I'm going to use the tools to benefit me. And it's just like the negotiations could be really fun.
I also get why. Like I would go buy a million boots at all these different shows and all these different nationals, and there's a lot of people behind the showcases that are literally just like non-engaging, right?
Yeah.
That just kind of just sit there and like don't get up. And well, I think I realized you do it for that long, you get beaten down. You're like, I don't know if I want to have a conversation because I don't like where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like if I get up and acknowledge you, it's going to be like, hey, you got that price at $100. How about 60? Well, I can't do 60. Okay, well, how about 62? Okay. Well, I can't do 62. How about I'll sell it to you for 80? Well, I can't go a dime over 66. It's just like, then it's like, you're either going to get beaten down, just be like, whatever, I'll just sell it, or you're just going to like, the person's going to get angry. I saw multiple people. There was one deal that was being worked out specifically on a card, and it was open for anybody to buy it. one guy ended up buying it. He asked me what I sold it to him for, and then he's like, "Well, I would have paid more for it." And I'm like, "You were sitting here for 20 minutes while this is going down. Why didn't you say, "Hey, I'll pay sticker price. I'll pay more." No, you sat there and watched this guy negotiate. And then when the card got sold, you were like, "I would have paid more." And I'm like, "Well, go buy it from him then."
Basically.
I'm all, you know what he just paid for it, so you can go buy it from him for more. And I'm pretty sure that he would gladly flip it to you and make a couple $100 on holding a card for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and yesterday's price is not today's price, and that's what Dur would say, 100%.
But yeah, it's fun. You got to go in there with, if you're doing singles, you got to go in there with like I said, a completely different mindset. Yeah. Get ready. It's the Wild West out there.
But yeah, I mean, I would also say I saw the most kids at any show. I think being able to live these experiences for these kids too. You know, if I was a kid, I mean, there was nothing like this when I was a kid. Like being able to, do a 40-yard dash, swing a baseball. I mean, swing a baseball bat,
and then
play some soccer, see your favorite wrestler. I mean, it was insane.
I saw kids that were working on multiple $1,000 deals at like 9 years old. Another thing that was like blowing my mind, like kids like sitting there like putting cards together and trying to make trades, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm at like 22. Oh, can you get up to 26?" And I'm all, 100? 100? Like, can you imagine when you were 8 years old that you were basically facilitating a deal that was like $2,000 to $3,000?
No, I can't.
No, I don't. No, different world. Different world.
$2-3 in my
Yeah,
pocket.
I would literally be like, $5. I'd be like, I could buy anything.
And they're the X factor.
I have a $5 bill. I'm rich. I could buy anything I want right now.
And that's the X factor. That, like bringing a kid to do a deal, like that is the X factor. It's like you can't be like too abrasive, right? Like, no, man. You got to be like. Because you want these kids to be in the hobby at the same time, but they know that.
Yeah,
too.
but
they know that, and they're more ruthless. Because
they're kind of ruthless, man. I was like, these kids are tough, man. Like, you're grinding me down.
No, I'm just kidding. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh, it went through my mind.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, the show itself was phenomenal, and it's not a puff piece, but. I think having the former Comic-Con guy running, the Fanatics brought over, he had that vision. And then, Ruben's connections, bringing everybody in, and then just the overall experiences, letting people do all these things along with.
I gotta give it up to EJ for putting on an amazing show. I gotta give it up to Ruben.
And we had a guy on our team, young Alex, who said, for those that have gone to things like Comic-Con before, he said this is like a very close approximation of what Comic-Con would be for sports. So if you know the vibes of Comic-Con, that's kind of what this was.
You know me, I'm all about the vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shirts were a hit. Yeah, absolutely. Our shirts did well.
They're gone.
We didn't come back with any of them, so everybody was wearing them. That was great, and we had people sign up for those and be part of the Mojobreak community, and most importantly, seeing a lot of people too that we just know screen names of, and being able to place the screen name with a face now, and being able to figure that all out. And now when we see them in the chat, sometimes you have a conception of what they look like, right? Because you see the name.
Yeah.
You're kind of picturing somebody based on the name, based on what their teams likes and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then you see them, and most of the time it's a completely different, interpretation of what they actually look like. So
yeah, that's what people say about you, about us on the podcast with our voice, right?
Met my dude Mendy, dude.
Yeah,
Mendy Cards, my guy.
Yep.
Indie sports.
Yep.
So it looks like, from what I heard, I think Sports Card Nonsense was talking about it. The Pittsburgh show, Fanatics Fest Pittsburgh, has been canceled.
Okay.
Boo.
I do believe the Orlando one is still on, and
hell yeah.
LA, I think is. I'm hearing good things
About the next big one.
I'm hearing good things about LA.
I heard
45-minute flight.
You talking about?
yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get shut down if it's in California, dude.
A 45-minute
In a
flight,
good way.
dude. Like, That's like one of those things where if they're like, sorry, your flight's canceled, I'm
You
like,
could even just drive.
I'll just run.
Yeah.
I'll just run home. Run down the 101.
The 5.
I'll run down the 5.
Can't stop me.
I'm like, when I say I'll get home, I'll be able to get home.
Yeah, so you're right. Back to Doug's point a second ago. We got to see a lot of our New York East Coast
Oh, yeah.
customers this time. So
Yep.
like maybe they never really went to any of these nationals because they're in Chicago or whatever. So that was awesome. I got to meet a whole set of new people I've never met before at any of the nationals. So that was another, again, awesome experience to be able to meet everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And another question: can Fanatics Fest and the NSCC coexist? I honestly, I mean, it's two different shows. I think you're not getting a lot of the dollar bins. You know, you're not getting
Not
a
yet.
lot of set builder stuff.
Not yet.
So the truest,
Vintage. Not a lot of vintage.
not a lot of vintage.
So it was everybody who was set up selling individual cards, I would say a solid like 90%, 95% modern.
Yeah, this is what I envision though. You know, no disrespect to the national. This is what I envision, that this Fanatics Fest is just going to keep getting bigger. They have the resources. They have the space probably in future
Do you think
venues.
that this is just the beginning? Like we're
This
all gonna
is just the
we're all
beginning.
gonna look back and go, remember how mellow the first one in New York was?
This is just the beginning, I feel like.
I don't know. I don't know if you can get that same star
like-
power.
'cause,
again,
like,
though,
what-
I
every
think you
time.
can.
Because the one in LA,
LA
there
could
might
definitely.
LA
there
would
might-
be a whole host.
Not
of
only
different-
like the same amount of star
well,
power.
LA you can get Hollywood.
Just the
like you
si-
can literally get just like famous like actors.
Yeah,
and
the
actresses,
size
like,
of the
to be
dealer
showing up.
portion is going to be way huger. Like they're going to allow way more dealers, and I think a lot more people are going to want to come to this show after hearing everybody talk about how great it was.
Plus, no matter when they do it in California and in Southern California,
Perfect weather.
it's gonna be perfect weather.
Well,
Like,
I was gonna say
they can do it like in the middle of December, and it can be negative 20 degrees where someone's at, and they come to like Southern California, and it's like 75 and sunny.
And plus, I mean, we have Burbank this week too. You know, which is another pretty big show. But you know, if you were going to run Fanatics Fest next year in LA, you already have people that are going to want to go to Chicago that are West Coast, so they're just going to book their trip to Fanatics Fest only. So you know, obviously, card aficionados, like I said, you're not going to be able to go. I need card number 5 from 1993 SPX. You're not going to find that at Fanatics Fest. To put that in perspective, if that's what you're into,
Not yet.
the National is what you want to be.
I
at.
mean, I'll tell you right now, like, I don't know where I stand on us as a company setting up at the National. If there's going to be a Fanatics Fest that's going to be 3 weeks after the National every year, I don't know if I want to set up at the National. I would have to be strongly convinced and have to make sense.
We've seen what it is now, and it's an amazing
'Cause
show for
I would be
everybody.
more inclined to basically do what we did this year: go hang out, do all our meetings, do our content, and that is it. I don't know if it's 3 weeks away for a Fanatics Fest, we're probably just going to set up there.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to still attend it. Don't get us wrong.
We'll still attend the National 100%, but I don't know if I want to set up a booth in Chicago and basically break it down and to set it up in 3 weeks again in LA or wherever it's going to be.
And from a content standpoint, like, you have to really kind of plan and plot for the National, where the Fanatics Fest, like, the content was already written for you. You just have to go out there and do it and film it and stuff. I mean, we did the lids thing. I mean, I was like 10 beers deep, and I did the lids thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anybody could tell. So that one got a lot of views. We gave away some hats.
I was up for 36 hours at that point, and I actually fell asleep with my eyes open while you guys were doing that.
Dan looked a little delirious when we were
I
recording
was
that
like,
thing.
I
Not gonna lie.
literally watched you guys, and I'm like, what? Why are we doing this right now? Like, why can't we just sleep?
Go to sleep.
Yeah, that's the thing. The National, and I think just most, like, I wouldn't worry about most, like, if you have a major sports card show in your area, I wouldn't really, I wouldn't be too worried. But National specifically, I feel like it's got to put some pressure on them to, like, make this a fun event for more people.
Well, the thing, they'll never have the connections in the pool that Ruben has
Yeah,
to be
you're
able to
right.
compete, and I don't think they should compete.
No,
I don't think.
no. There's no reason for them to compete, but it's got to be a more interesting show somehow.
If anything, double down on the fact that you are 100% a card show
and have the most vintage in the world.
and just go after
Stay in
that
your lane, yeah.
and just be like, we're gonna add more dealers and we're gonna have like more dollar bins and we're gonna have more like set builders. We're just that's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna add more cards. That's
I mean,
what
one
would
thing
do.
you didn't have, I guess, thinking about it, is you didn't have eBay. eBay didn't have, I mean, for obvious reasons, because Fanatics is control, so they're not going to let eBay in
Or
because
whatnot.
they have or whatnot. So I mean, there was less big companies. It was all Fanatics, like these.
No, well,
these
you had like PSA. PSA was there.
Yep.
You had
CGC.
like 130 Point. Our boys at 130 Point were there.
CGC
Was Beckett
tag,
there?
Oh, Lane.
tag.
Beckett. I don't think Beckett was there.
I don't think Beckett was there.
You know what else? You know who else was like any distributor? There was a handful of our friends that were there incognito, but no distributor presence.
And then obviously you're not going to have Panini or Upper Deck there either. So I mean, that's the other drawback, I guess. If you're a fan of Panini, if you're a fan of Upper Deck and what they do at these shows, they're not going to be there. So you still have to go to the
It would have been
National for
a
that.
baller move though for Panini to be like, yeah, we want a booth.
Would they have let them?
I don't know, but if they would have been like, I want a booth, how much? And
I mean,
just- and
they've
then
been-
just set up.
I mean, if you remember when we started on Fanatics Live, we're like, they're like, yeah, go ahead and do Panini and Upper Deck and stuff. You know, I mean, like
I
they could have been like, no, it's just top stuff. So.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I can see in a couple of years that the other manufacturers will have a presence.
They will.
well, but in a couple of years they won't have any licenses besides
But
hockey.
then they're going to need to have a presence. They're going to need to be there to show off what they're selling.
It's true. They
Yeah.
need to be there.
Because these manufacturers are not like Panini is going to figure something out. They're not going anywhere. We're not going to wake up one day and be like, Panini doesn't have any license, so they're just not creating cards anymore. They're going to figure out a way to make cards. Now, do we know how desirable they're going to be? Do we know what the licenses are going to be? We don't know. But they're still going to print cardboard with pictures on it, with
Yep.
autographs and memorabilia. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and to kind of put it in perspective for Star Power, I was telling somebody this story. Like back in 2015 at the National, people were like, Rex Ryan is here. Rex Ryan is walking
Oh
around.
my God.
That was like, Rex Ryan's here? Like, you know, now it's like, Rex Ryan, they wouldn't even let Rex Ryan in the 40-40, no disrespect, but he wouldn't even be able to get in the 40-40 club, you know what I mean?
No, he would have been looking down the list with us, going like, I'm pretty sure we're on there.
I mean, he's far more accomplished than we are. But, you know, that's just to put it. And then, you know, shout out to Leighton. They had Jake Paul and Livy Dunn go buy some cards for them. I mean, that was probably, you know, I don't think is it Jake Paul or is it Logan Paul?
It was
Jake
Sorry.
Paul.
One of the Pauls. Jake Paul, probably we got nudged into doing that, right? Got nudged into doing that. So now he's buying a card. He bought a Caitlin Clark 101. He's putting that on his social. So now it's like anybody that follows him is like, oh, this guy bought a card. Like, I got to look at these
and
cards.
there was a photo of Dana White who had a bunch of cards in front of him that he had purchased.
Tom Brady went up to a dealer and was talking cards with him.
Mike Trout bought a card on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
The phone, FaceTime.
These are other things. Again, I love the National. This don't happen at the National.
This stuff doesn't happen.
Like,
'Cause we've been there too many times.
Could you imagine just sitting at our booth at the National and just having like Jake Paul come up and being like, "Hey, can I get a T-shirt?" Like that. Like, no,
Yeah.
that like doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe he didn't want to do it, and maybe he was paid to do so. But like, even so, it's the optics of the situation that like
Yeah.
all these young YouTube kids that have watched this guy are like, maybe I'm gonna go check out a card thing. This
Well,
is kind
that
of
was-
cool.
that
You know,
was
I didn't know
also-
Caitlin Clark has an auto.
That was the other thing, and I'm not super hip to like the influencers, like the TikTok influencers, but they had a handful of those guys who were there,
Yeah.
who were probably as famous
Live
as,
streamers.
as we think of Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Like, they're-
100%.
Like there's probably kids that were like, that streamer right there is I'm way more enthralled by the fact that he's here as opposed to
Oh
Tom
yeah,
Brady.
Aiden Ross was there.
I don't know if you heard the story when me, Doug, and Gary were in line for the basketball thing. There was 2 young kids in front of us, and they were like, "I was like, hey kids, who's that?" They're like, "That's the guy that's part of Kai Cenat's group." And Kai Cenat's literally the biggest streamer in the world right now. And I was like, "Oh, cool." I had no idea, but that goes to your point of exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Aiden Ross just did a freaking interview with Trump. So he was
Yeah.
there. He got kicked by
Aiden Ross was there. Drewski
he got
was
kicked
there.
by Pereira, right? In the ring. Like you
Yeah.
see the video
Yep.
and he's
Drew,
like,
Yep.
Drewski has a podcast, right?
Drewski, he's an influencer comedian. I think he came from the comedian world first.
on IG.
Yeah, on IG.
Did a bunch of skits and stuff.
He was
like
on. He
that.
was in a bunch of Drake videos early on. I think it was not God's Plan, the one where
Yeah. I mean,
Google
that
Pixel commercial.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, this was. It had a lot of elements of like pop culture, and again, like
A lot.
sitting like on the outside of, and I did it for a little while with you guys. That red carpet entrance to the 40/40 Club, like, felt like I was like literally somewhere in Hollywood. Just like walking down the street and just like at a red
Yeah.
carpet, like we're going to like the Emmys or the Grammys or
Yes,
the Oscars or
exactly.
something like that. I was like,
Exactly.
I'm all, dude, what? I'm
What
like,
is going on?
What is going on? Like, we are still in the convention center.
Yeah. This is what when I said earlier when the beginning of the podcast, when I tell you guys that they built a literal nightclub, Jay-Z's 40/40 nightclub, in the middle of the sports convention. Like that's what they did. And there was a red carpet. There was like people walking by. You see all the flashes of all the cameramen.
Saw Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
I don't think that was because the guy walked back out. I don't think.
I think it was Mark Cuban. He was walking like Mark Cuban.
He could have been, but I mean, also, I mean, at the same time, I kind of felt like a little weird. Like I'm like filming, like I'm like this is kind of strange, right? Like that is the definition of a sheep, you know. But I mean, it was cool to see. I'm not going to discount the star power and what it does for the hobby, but I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
Oh, I was thinking the same exact thing, and then the lady who was working the autograph booth behind me let me know very, very aggressively that I wasn't supposed to be there. Like, literally screaming in my ear, and I'm like,
Yeah, they tried it like 10
I'm
times
all-
and we
I'm
didn't
all-
move.
I'm
And
all,
then like,
you know, yeah, they tried and they
at the
tried, and
11th time-
I get it. Everybody was like, you can't move us all. Like this is an area. It's sectioned off. Like there's no reason why we can't be here. I get it. It's kind of messing up what you guys are doing, but like you guys shouldn't have had a walkway here then.
well, the first person was like, as long as you're on the rail, you're fine. So we're
Yeah,
like, cool,
well,
we're on the
and then,
rail.
and then they came up and told me that, so I got on the rail, and then it just, I think they had enough. They had enough, and honestly, the music was probably wearing on them as well because they were right outside of it. Because can you imagine like being at their booth and trying to communicate with other like people who are working with the music as loud as it was? Because we weren't even talking to each other because you couldn't.
I was loving the music though. That music was fire.
Yeah, they were playing some good songs.
DJ Khaled.
Oh yeah.
Played everybody.
Fat Joe.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things too was I don't know the origin of the 40/40 Club, so maybe somebody should do some research on that. But it definitely seemed like those guys were reliving their past, right? Because you didn't see a lot of younger cats from the industry in there. You seen the 90s kind of 2000s guys going.
Well,
in
Drewski
there, you know?
ran up in there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drewski in there.
But like the origins of it basically is like it was a huge deal in the 2000s that Jay-Z had opened up his own nightclub. That was like a huge deal in the 2000s.
Actually, had 2 locations.
Yeah. So
and it was called 40/40 Club.
Yep, 40/40 Club. Yep. He raps about it in a few songs too. So yeah, man, I'm telling you guys right now, this Fanatics Fest next year, wherever they choose a location, is gonna be insane, because I had a lot of people hit me up just looking from the outside, and they were like, "Wow, that looks like the most fun time ever."
Rare known fact.
We're looking for Kendrick Lamar. Where was he? Said he's not going to do the East Coast.
I don't think that's his vibe, bro.
Did you see that? Like, did that song that he dropped just one bar of? Did that just come out?
One bar.
No,
one
it's
is
like
that?
the whole song's not even out because I looked on Apple Music. Everybody's already using it on TikTok.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the beginning of the Night Like Us video.
No, it's not. It's like they're saying that he took. Some are speculating that all that first bar is all the songs that Drake copied off of people.
Hmm? You
I'll have to play it for you off
yeah,
the
you
air.
gotta show me.
I'll have to
left
play
it
for you
to
off
that
the air
one.
because I was like, is that how genius this guy is that he would make lyrics?
He is genius.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Look, before we get out of here, we should probably talk about this triple auto because, as Fanatics Fest was going on.
Oh yeah, the news came out how many with the print run was, right?
Yeah, there was the print run on the on the triple Curry. This is the Olympic card. The print run on the single, which is the only way to get a chance to get the triple auto of Curry, KD, LeBron, 588,000 on the print run.
Shattered the record.
Call that an SP.
So originally, was it Ken Golden who started it, or was it Sports
Okay.
Card? So Sports Card Investor
Sports Card Investor.
came out at 100,000,
And then
Golden came out at 150,000.
and now I think Sports Card. Now I think Jeff is at 250.
Plus incentives.
But there was something that came out today. Our boy Nate Burns he's all hold my beer, $500,000.
Nice.
And he said he's not going to do any fluff. He's not going to do any auctions or
Not
anything
talking
like
to any.
that.
Don't need to talk to any banker. Don't need to talk to anything. You just come down to the shop with the card. One stipulation is that the autographs cannot be smudged.
Cool.
And he also said he'll pay somebody $10,000 just to bring the card by.
Just take a picture with it.
Mm.
So
Just take a picture, huh?
I think Nate Burns. I think that's the mic drop, right? We can't go any higher than half a milli.
I think it's still worth more than 5.
Is it a milli?
That's the thing with that's the good thing about Jeff's deal. It's like he's gonna give you 250 up front, but they're still gonna auction it, so you get to see if it goes for more than 500,000, and you get that money anyways.
You get some of the equity in it.
Yeah. Well, no, you you probably get the difference.
Well,
right?
where's he going to auction it off? Fanatics Collect?
I thought it was. You're right. That's a good
Because
question.
he's not going to go to Golden.
I think
right?
it was Fanatics Collect.
Fanatics Collect. Yeah.
I mean, he made a cheesy New York video of him being mad about the Golden bid, but yeah, then he came out. And
I mean,
he
there was
at
a
250.
couple smaller time. I saw in the comments. I was reading the comments. There was a couple smaller time card shops, and I say small time, but he was off. They were like offering 250 plus a whole bunch of extra incentives. So there's some good deals out there. If you hit this card, there's some good deals out there for you. Do your research if you hit this card.
They were talking about this on Sports Card Nonsense as well. Like, so I'm assuming when they ship that out,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have a little bit different packing and insurance for the autograph card, right?
It's going through all the USPS CT scanners.
No, but I'm all. Can you imagine if like it just comes in the same like snap case as the rest of the cards?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's a redemption.
I think it's a redemption.
okay.
Because Topps is going to probably want to fly you out there. They get their press on it,
Yeah.
right? So you pull the redemption, you contact them. They're going to be like, we're going to fly you out. Like, here you go. Like, take a picture with it.
Do we know when these are supposed to ship? Anybody?
I have no idea, but what do you do if you hit it?
You sell it.
Sell it.
You don't hold it.
No.
You're all.
Although it does have Curry and KD on there, are two legends.
But you know what the back? I think I did.
I sell it.
I think I definitely like. I think I bought it under me, so hopefully they won't put two and two together. Because I'm like, wouldn't that be like the worst thing? Like, obviously, like if I won it and they're like, "Come on out there, let's take a picture with you," and it's just gonna be like, breakers, just get everything. It's just.
I think we would all have to have a strategy, and I think we would have to hire somebody to go out there. I don't think you'd be able to go out there.
Be like, TJ, go out there.
I think it'd have to be removed from the company. I think it'd have to be just somebody we find off the street.
I'm gonna be happy if I just get some type of parallel in my pack.
There are parallels.
Yeah, like
right?
199 or something, or 99.
Trevor
I'll be
says
happy.
negative 5,000 if it goes to a certain shirtless group of individuals. So, yeah, I mean I want to know how they're gonna do it. Like we talked about like last week.
Says the redemption card will be sent to the winner within 10 days of the close of the sale.
So they should start showing up soon.
Yeah.
I mean, and this thing is like you can kind of pull out. Not that they would do any tomfoolery on this, but these are already all sold. So it could come out and somebody's one of the first packages open or the last. It doesn't. There's no rhyme or
I'll see
reason.
somebody take a picture of it.
This thing should
post
hit
on social media and be like, Redemption.
This should be on the internet by the end of the week, right? The end of the weekend.
Woo.
We should start photoshopping it like we have it or something. Like, I got it.
Oh, you mean the one that I already have?
C-Rad already has it.
I've had it since it was announced. You know.
Like, dude, it was announced and then it was already in C-Rad's hand. It was crazy.
I thought it was real.
Yeah, some of our coworkers really thought I had it. Like they were like, "Dang, dude."
Well, I should see if I've gotten shipment on that bad boy.
Yeah. But I'm super excited for the future, man. For the Fanatics Fest. It's if you guys didn't get a chance to go this year, 100% recommend. Did it ship or?
No, I saw something else. So I'll talk to you off air. The
Okay.
Wave 2 of Dynasty Soccer.
Oh, nice.
Not nice. But yeah, let's see if it's
Ouch, bro.
ouch.
Ouch, bro.
Let's see. Tops now, right? Tops now. Did I get a shipment notification? We're doing a live email. Live email read. I don't think so. This is dead air.
This is good content.
This is great content.
Good content.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
What else,
so.
what else on the docket
You know what
here?
would be great is that if you actually got notification, it's all signature required, and nobody else has signature required. You'd just be like,
Then you know.
you're all,
Then you know.
Well, I wonder what the 1 of 1 would sell for, the unautographed. I mean, that should be worth something, right?
That's gonna be worth something, yeah.
Because
sure,
there's
100%.
parallels of all of them. In general.
I mean, but so what? I'm assuming they start at 199, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because just to get one that's numbered to 199 is going to be pretty
Impossible.
remarkable.
Yeah, 600,000 copies.
Yeah, because it's
Jeez, that's crazy.
yeah.
Shatters the record by like
I mean,
500,000.
Number to 199 may go for 5 figures.
Yeah.
It might be a $10,000 card number to 199.
It's an iconic card now, right?
Considering that, like, we all know how hard it would be to get number to 199
Yeah.
if they made over $500,000.
Well, now that you're saying that to me, I hope I get a number to 50 then.
You get number to 50, it might be 50 grand.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
We're going out to Orlando Fanatics Fest with that money.
Immediately.
So, yeah, new releases. We actually have a nice code for you guys if you go to mojobreak.com. 12% off any break right now.
Wow.
Use code new release. And limited time coupon, only a handful of you guys are going to be able to use that one. So I would definitely, if you're this late in the show, should have said at the beginning of the show, but if you're this late in the show, you are a diehard. I would take advantage of that deal.
Good deal. A lot of new releases this week.
Yeah, we got 24 Topps Chrome Tennis, which actually has been quite surprising.
Good
the
check.
hype for it.
You know what they did?
Good checklist.
You know what they did? Because the last one took so many years to release because it kept getting delayed because of the pandemic.
The year is on the last
It was
one, right?
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure it didn't come out in 2021.
What happened with this release is that they went after all the big names you could ever want in tennis history. So a lot of these big name tennis players, their first autos, their first cards. So it's a big deal release.
I do believe it is listed as a 2023 product though. Right?
So you're going to be doing some breaks of that tonight?
Yes.
So, I know we have like Shoot Came Up at 101. I think you should be like, ah! You're like, you hit.
What? You should have rethought that
Gotta-
one. Oh my
we
god.
gotta shut it down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
think
guys.
that definitely should get edited out of the podcast
So
version.
wild.
But
You're gonna get
but
memed
the people that were watching it
It's gonna be a
live
forever meme, dude.
are gonna get a treat there because that was
It just became a meme.
that was unnecessary.
Well, that's what you do in tennis.
No,
They
That's what I'm saying.
They do
That's-
make those noises.
That's the women.
yeah,
No, the guys, okay.
Oh my god.
no reason
Why
to do that
would you
either.
do
Like
that?
it didn't stick the first time. It wasn't gonna happen the second
Hey, I'm
time.
getting some laughs.
Oh my god.
I mean, but how do you celebrate a tennis hit?
You throw your racket up.
Yeah.
like
Fist
any
of triumph.
normal
Fist
any
of
normal
triumph.
person.
Oh boy, that was great. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug.
You got to do that, man. You got to be like,
Insane.
what else is what is a tennis like specific word?
Ace,
Ace?
Yes.
ace,
Fist pump?
ace.
What does ace mean?
It's when you
When you
serve
serve the
it when you
ball and
serve
don't
the ball and
return it.
nobody hits it.
Got it.
It's an ace.
So yeah, we got
Ace.
Ace.
No, you don't need to say it. It's
Ace.
just there. It just happens.
Tennis slang.
The referee and the sitting in the chair, they're not going like ace.
You mean
No,
you
not
mean
at all.
you mean Mario? I always think of it like if you play the Mario
Oh, that's a
tennis,
good one.
it's
Somebody
always
in the chat.
Mario.
Oh,
who is,
that's sitting up there?
Sitting up there.
Someone said
That's a
game,
good job.
set, match. That's actually
There's a
Game,
banana
set,
forehand. That's
match.
a real
That's
word.
a good one. Game, set, match. Yeah,
I
you're
like
right.
that one. That's like game blouses.
Game, set,
Banana
match.
forehand would be kind of a lob, I believe.
Yeah, it has a curve to the shot. Yeah. Yeah, closed stance code violation. You can't use that.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, tough game.
it is a tough game.
Tough game.
Yeah.
Game, set, match. I played tennis hardcore growing up. So
It's
we've
a tough
got
game.
that. So you can use that code on that. We also have Panini 1 coming out on Friday, which should be pretty awesome. We've been like in dire straits for some football products. So like
Next week,
know.
no, you know what? Next, I know one is a big deal this week, but next week we get two big ones. The select.
Oh, we get Panini too?
and
Panini 2.
and composite.
Oh yeah.
Panini.
Or if it comes out.
Panini 2 and composite?
Yeah. Panini 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
2 and 2. You get 2 cards. And, of course, the big one, 22-23 Topps Dynasty UEFA Champions League Soccer, which boxes are already up to $2,000.
It's so big that
$3,000.
nobody's actually even ripping
It actually is. It's too big to rip.
Yeah.
because there's nobody ripping it.
Nobody's got the stones to rip a case of it.
Full game used, memorabilia, all cards numbered to 10, just
but-
like your Dynasty Baseball.
But don't worry, C-Rad's going to be ripping a case, and I do believe on Fanatics Live tonight, Big Break Jake will be posting some.
He's going to post some personals for you high rollers. You high rollers, so we'll see. C-Rad's going to have a pick your player coming up.
Yes, bigger player style.
Nice. So I can't wait for that. So yeah, check out the whole slate, and we also have credentials hockey too, which is still Bedard, still a guy that people want. So get in on credentials hockey. They have like some beautiful parallels as well. So I mean that's pretty much it. We had some auctions that we could get into, but maybe we save that for next week when Cody's back. But Motif Football, more unlicensed products are set to debut. Ruben kind of teased in an interview that there's going to be the debut patches on NFL and NBA as well.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna ask you about.
That is
Guys,
sick.
about did you guys talk about that last week?
No, because I think he just kind of announced it in a interview this weekend.
Okay.
So that'll be huge, for all the rookies coming up having that debut patch.
That is huge.
But that is a sport, though. Like, so that's we've done it, and we've seen it in MLS, and obviously we've seen it in baseball. But like, the logo man and the shield, those are already mainstays for those products. Will this debut patch be as wanted?
Can't
as-
hurt.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
hurt.
Anytime we could add value, it can't hurt. Now, is the NBA debut patch gonna sell for more than the logo man? Probably not.
Wait.
But it will sell for a crap ton.
Well, and it will be game used, where the logo mans, most
True.
logo mans aren't. and
True.
shields
I-
aren't.
Until
I think the
whatever
logo
version
man
of Flawless
design
is.
is just so iconic. Maybe in 10 years, the debut patch could be the end all be all rookie patch auto.
And here's another thing to consider. We don't know what Topps plan is with the logo mans and the NFL shields.
Right.
We don't know how often we're gonna see them, which products they're gonna be in. Are they
They
gonna
make-
utilize them as often as Panini is?
They make jerseys that are all logo mans. Just the whole jersey is
The whole
just
jersey.
the whole jersey
Have
is
them
just,
throw it on real quick.
just all logo mans.
So I think what they're going to do is they're going to take the NBA debut patch, right, 1-1, and it's going to go in Overtime Elite. So yeah, that's the only way you'll be able to chase it is in the Overtime Elite update.
I'm telling you, I mark my words. Overtime Elite with the price point, probably one of the better values. You don't find boxes that are $39 wholesale that you get 2 autographs in.
Yeah, and you also don't find a product that has no autograph that sells for more than
Because
$19.
nobody knows who these kids are.
So you should just buy them all and just hold
You
on to 'em.
should. You can't lose at $39 for a box. You literally can't lose. You can't lose.
Does anybody in the
only-
chat buy
there's
Overtime
only,
Elite?
There's only 4 teams. If we had a 4-team PYT and we charged $12 a team,
Didn't-
you're almost guaranteed. You have 50% chance of getting an auto, and you're going to get a bunch of cards and some parallels. They probably don't make a lot of it. You know what? Don't buy it.
Dan,
don't buy
correct
it.
me if
Don't
I'm wrong.
buy it. I'm going to hoard it all. I'm putting it all storing it all the way. It's all in the safe now. Sorry.
Didn't 2014 Topps Chrome cost $40 a box when it came out?
Yeah.
Can't lose
So
on
can't
that one.
lose. Can't lose.
Maybe you could try to figure out a way to sell the Dynasty with the Overtime Elite. Like maybe we can do that.
Dynasty Soccer with the Overtime Elite basketball.
Or we can get back to like the blog TV days and be like, somebody's going to win a PlayStation 5 out of the 100 people that buy the Overtime Elite boxes at $30. That's how you move it.
I'm literally gonna go over there right now, and I'm gonna make Jake do a random team Overtime Elite.
Well, you know what? Since I'm doing this Dynasty, we do need hitless packs for the 65 guys who are not going to hit.
Yeah, that might be a way.
I mean that's also a point. I mean we it's 12 packs, I believe.
Overtime Elite?
Anybody played the new Madden 25 yet?
No.
It's dope. It's amazing.
It came out.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
About a week ago.
Who lost in the Madden 24? I forget. You or
Well, it was PlayStation, but like because I couldn't kick a field goal because I don't know what happened at the end.
I lost
at the
$5.
National, that's right. That's
He,
right.
Lost $5
You
bucks
guys
on
were
you,
like
Doug.
tied in overtime.
No, he was beating me by like 1 point or something. And I went to kick a field goal.
I scored a touchdown and ballsy move late in the game with like less than a minute left. I went for 2 and I got it. And then Doug ended up driving down the field with like 30 seconds left, got in the field goal range, and then absolutely shanked the field goal.
I don't know why you trusted Jake Moody, dude.
No, because I don't know what I mean. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't played enough Madden. There was no bar.
I think it gets.
So when I hit the thing to do it, there was no bar.
I think it's like a pressure kick at the end.
Maybe.
And you didn't
And I didn't understand that, so I'm waiting for the bar, and then it just hiked it. He's like, ping, and kicked it to the right.
I mean, it was
Because I didn't have a bar that showed up. So I'm like,
should have called timeout, dude.
missed it by 25 yards to the left.
Oh,
no, it was
man.
just like if you hit the X and you don't even hit a bar, that's what it did. I mean, obviously it's just going to go that way. So I don't know what happened, but I wasn't in the know, so I get a pass. That game was a tie. That's what it was. It
No,
was a
that
tie.
game. No, I won. I was up by 1. So how could it be a tie if I was up by 1? Now, if you would have made the field goal, I would have lost by 2.
I threw the flag and they didn't review the play because I obviously was
You can't
unfairly treated.
You can't review a missed kick. If we could review missed kicks, like the Rams would have won like 16 games last year.
That's crazy.
But I played my first online game on the 25, and I literally the guy was the Dolphins and I was the Niners, and I made a guy fumble. I ran it back for a touchdown. He quit. It was like 30 seconds in. I'm like, come on, man. I'm not guaranteed to win just because I'm up by 7. That's the one thing I hate, and they don't give you a win on there if somebody quits at a certain time.
Oh, they used to do that. If you quit, you automatically win.
Yeah, if it's like after the second quarter or something like that, it does it. But I was like,
lame.
come on, man.
Dude, you shouldn't be able to just. You go through the whole process of like getting online, you get matched up with somebody, and then you quit because it doesn't work out in your favor.
It wasn't,
Come on.
but like I said, it was like 2 minutes in. He fumbled it, and I ran it back for a touchdown, and then he quit. I'm like, he could have.
probably
He would
like-
have the ball back.
He's
He
all
could have
this
tied
dude.
me.
He's all this dude has a cheat code on.
Yeah, he's like,
Dude's
he
got
already knows
cheat
how to
codes
play.
cheating.
Yeah. So.
Or it could have very well been like a 9-year-old kid that was like, "This guy, I'm not going to play. I'm going to lose."
There was one little glitch yesterday, so I started my season as a Niners when we played the Jets, and there was like second quarter, and I see Bosa, and he's like bent 3 ways on the ground, and I'm like, oh, God, he's out for the season. But it was just he was just glitching on the ground. And I was like, okay, God.
Rage quit.
Yeah, rage quit is what it was. But it's so early. I can understand if it was like I was up by like 28 or something. Like, okay, I'm not going to win. I'm going to quit. But like, it just started.
You should get a loss.
You should.
You should get a loss.
You should.
You quit. That should be it. I think they just have a hard time telling if it's like due to connectivity or did
But
you actually quit.
but the thing is that what if you lose internet connection in the third quarter? Then you're going to get a loss. But if you lose it in the first 2 minutes, you don't get a loss.
Yeah.
Just
I'm about to get a headset though and get on Twitch, dude. I'm about to do it. I'm about to go full.
Oh,
about to go
man.
on.
Full Twitch streamer?
Gamer mode.
As
Doug
much as my
the
time
gamer.
allows me to, which isn't much, but I will do that.
All right. Can you can't do PlayStation and Xbox.
I think you can now.
They can't play against each other, right?
I know
you
you
can.
can on Fortnite, but I don't know about anything else.
You can?
Okay.
Yeah.
They've created that platform where you can get on.
Because it always seemed like
regardless of what you
it
got.
did not. Why would you not be able to cross? Like if it's the same game, why could you not cross different systems?
A lot of games you can now.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's saying you can. See.
Yeah, you can.
So get a like an inferior PlayStation if you want, and we could play.
Inferior PlayStation.
I have no.
Controller's weird.
Well, first off, I don't have anything. I have no allegiance to. Wait, isn't it Microsoft?
Yeah.
It's like borderline Android.
Yeah, exactly. That bowl. If
So
Apple
you should,
made a console, I'd be
you
on
should,
there.
You should hate Xbox.
I love it.
You should be pro PlayStation.
I grew up with Xbox and PlayStation.
You
I did
grew up
play
with it. It hasn't even
PlayStation,
been out that long.
but Grew up with it.
I think PlayStation. You grew up with PlayStation.
I did.
PlayStation was out
PlayStation
before.
1 and PlayStation 2. Yeah. I've had them all. I've had them all over my time.
But now you love Microsoft.
I like PlayStation and Xbox. The one I don't really like is Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean they have their. You can't play Mario Kart anymore.
More of a Sega
If,
guy.
if Cody
More
was
of a
here, I'd
Dreamcast.
be talking more crap, but Cody's not here, so
We still do have to have that Mario Kart tournament though.
which
All
I
right.
would beat Cody into.
We should have a
That's
Smash
what I
Brothers
said. I was
tournament.
like, Cody was like, because I was like, if there was an Olympic sport, this was a couple of weeks ago. I don't think you were here. Olympic sport. I'm like, Cody, what would it be? What would your?
Oh, I was here. Well,
I know,
we
you were
rehashed it.
you were here. I don't think were you here?
I wasn't here last
Yeah.
week. No.
So Cody was like, Mario Kart would be my Olympic sport. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I
Fun game. The thing about having an Olympic esport, you have to pick a game that's not random, right? It has to be all skill based.
Yeah.
Mario Kart is super random because it always depends on if you
If you're in eighth, you're getting all the
whatever
cool
your
stuff.
whatever your little power up is at the very end, you're gonna win that last lap.
And my thing was, I would like to play Mario Kart in real life.
Yeah.
Like that's
That
what I
would
would
be
like to do.
dope.
Like have like a little paint gun on there where you can like shoot the people.
Banana
Like,
peels.
But yeah, well, I don't think the banana peel would work as it works in the game. Like I think you would just run it
Not
over.
effective.
I
Yeah,
think you'd have a better chance at like hitting them in the head with the
Hit him in
banana
the
peel.
face.
Yeah, we got to get Liner. Yeah, I got to play. I think his skill level is very comparable to mine, so maybe we might actually have a good.
He's
game.
probably on that college 2K.
That's what they're saying. But I'm more of a pro guy, pros pro. So
College 25, I heard, is a lot is more fun because it's a faster game. So it's like men is a little bit slower.
nice. Well, that's pretty much all we got for the show today, guys. Hype 354 was a success. I can't even talk. And use that code, new releases. We got lots of stuff breaking at Mojobreak.com. We also have all the newest releases on MojobreakShop.com if you want to get yourself a box. Rip it. There's some great prices. We're always having sales on there. And if you're local to the Bay Area, come check out the shop. We got some big news coming up circling the Jets-Niners game with somebody that we did some collabing with in New York will be in studio. So that will be really cool. That news is yet to come, and a great way for you guys to win some awesome first edition prizes as well. So we'll see you guys on the Hype next week. Peace.